During World War II, as Nazi Germany looted Europe and orchestrated the Holocaust, vast amounts of stolen wealth were funneled into international financial systems, with Swiss banks at the center of a growing post-war controversy. For decades, Switzerland's wartime neutrality was praised for preserving independence, but beneath the surface lay a murky tale of financial dealings with the Nazi regime. The Nazi gold scandal would eventually spark international outrage, legal action, and a painful reassessment of Swiss wartime policies. Nazi looting and the origins of the gold. As the Nazi regime expanded across Europe from 1939 to 1945, it systematically looted occupied countries, seizing central bank reserves, gold bullion, and personal assets from Jews and other persecuted groups. Much of this gold, some confiscated from victims of the Holocaust, including extracted dental gold and jewelry, was melted down and recast by the Reichsbank, Nazi Germany's central bank. To fund its war effort and bypass Allied economic sanctions, Nazi Germany needed access to hard currency, raw materials, and foreign markets. This is where Swiss banks became instrumental. Switzerland, a hub of wartime finance. Switzerland, officially neutral during World War II, became a crucial financial intermediary for both Axis and Allied nations. Its central location, stable banking system, and strict secrecy laws made it an ideal place to store, exchange, and launder gold. From 1939 to 1945, the Swiss National Bank, SNB, and private banks accepted at least $400 million worth of gold from Nazi Germany, the equivalent of several $billion today. A significant portion of this gold was of dubious origin, suspected of being stolen from occupied European treasuries or taken from Holocaust victims. Switzerland facilitated Germany's access to international markets, enabling the Nazi economy to continue functioning even as the war turned against it. Swiss leaders argued that this trade was necessary to maintain neutrality and national survival amid the threat of invasion. However, critics later argued that economic cooperation with the Nazis prolonged the war and made Switzerland complicit in the broader machinery of looting and genocide. Post-war investigations and the rise of the controversy. After the war, the Allied powers demanded accountability, urging Switzerland and other neutral countries to return looted assets. The Tripartite Gold Commission, formed by the US, UK, and France, attempted to recover stolen gold and redistribute it to victimized countries. Switzerland returned only a portion, approximately $58 million, arguing much of the gold had been accepted in good faith. The issue remained largely dormant until the 1990s, when renewed scrutiny and legal action reignited the debate. Triggered by declassified wartime documents in the US and UK. Survivor testimony and investigative journalism. The fall of the Iron Curtain, which exposed Eastern European claims. These revelations exposed how Swiss banks had stonewalled Holocaust survivors and their families seeking access to dormant wartime accounts. The Volcker Report and international outrage. In response to mounting pressure, the Swiss government, banks, and Jewish organizations agreed in 1996 to investigate the matter. The result was the Volcker Commission Report, 1999, led by former U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Paul Volcker. The report found over 54,000 accounts with possible connections to Holocaust victims. Many had been closed with little to no explanation. Survivors and their heirs were denied access or stonewalled by banks citing lack of documentation or vague policies. Swiss financial institutions had knowingly accepted looted gold during the war. These findings confirmed long-held suspicions and fueled international condemnation. The $1.25 billion settlement. In 1998, after years of legal battles, pressure campaigns, and diplomatic tension, Swiss banks, primarily Credit Suisse and UBS, agreed to a $1.25 billion settlement with Holocaust survivors and Jewish organizations. The agreement was one of the largest Holocaust-related financial settlements in history, meant to compensate survivors, their heirs, and claimants for lost accounts and assets. A symbolic reckoning for Swiss complicity in Nazi financial operations. Though welcomed by many, the settlement also caused divisions within Swiss society. Some saw it as a necessary act of justice. Others believed Switzerland had been unfairly targeted, arguing that it had done what it could under extreme wartime conditions. Swiss introspection and policy reforms. The scandal led to widespread national soul-searching in Switzerland. The government commissioned an independent Bergier Commission to study Switzerland's role in World War II. Its findings echoed the Volcker Report. Switzerland's economic ties to Nazi Germany were significant, and its refugee policy had been overly harsh. Banking policies were reformed, with more transparency introduced and dormant accounts more easily accessible to heirs. Public awareness grew, and Holocaust education and remembrance were strengthened across Swiss schools and institutions. While Switzerland's wartime neutrality spared it from destruction, the post-war revelations showed that neutrality did not mean moral innocence. The controversy over Nazi gold and Swiss banks exposed the hidden costs of wartime neutrality and the dangers of financial secrecy in the face of mass injustice. Switzerland's acceptance of looted Nazi assets and its reluctance to aid Holocaust survivors reflected a tragic prioritization of self-preservation over moral responsibility. Yet, through public reckoning, investigation and restitution, Switzerland took meaningful, if overdue, steps to address its past. The scandal remains a powerful reminder that neutrality, when paired with silence or complicity, can carry a heavy ethical price. In the end, the Nazi gold affair forced Switzerland, and the world, to confront the uncomfortable intersection of finance, neutrality, and human suffering in the darkest chapter of the 20th century.